Social networks. The friendship teenagers are building in our modern age rely on these things. You have hundreds, possibly thousands of friends online, and you get closer to those who are away from you while getting apart to those who are close to you. Today, we take on the search and ask people how their life has been negatively and or positively changed with social networks.
What social networks do you use?
Every day?
Yes.
Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram.
Do you use Facebook?
No, I don't have a Facebook.
Okay. Why do you not have a Facebook?
Because I find people are annoying on Facebook.
Really?
Due to excessive amounts of bullying on online social networks, teen suicide rates have skyrocketed high. The following is a report of a young teen that ended up committing suicide because of online bullying.
A series of taunting online posts had led to the arrests of two girls, aged 12 and 14, in a Florida cyberbullying case. The two middle school students have been charged with aggravated stalking for harassing a 12-year-old girl who later committed suicide.
Why do you think people get/are addicted to social networks?
Because they don't have to face reality, and they can be a different person because they're hidden behind a computer or a phone.
Do you think they act differently on social networks?
Yes, they do.
Do you think they get more confidence or anything else?
I think they have more confidence to do whatever they want and to say whatever they want.
So again, in other words, if you're behind that screen, that LED or LCD, you're a whole different new person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Social networks, I personally think they are a bad thing in a way. Yes, they are good in some other cases, to connect with other people, but if you actually think about it, the consequences of these social networks are greater than the actual benefits. Take into consideration that the fact that people get so addicted to these social networks, becoming different persons, having different confidence levels that end up causing suicide in teens. They end up procrastinating, and it's all just a downward thing, like slippery slope. When is it gonna end? There's many things that are bad. Again with the suicide, that's a very bad thing because of social networks. That's one of the problems I think that comes up with social networks. And personally, I really think social networks are not the best thing. We ended up conducting a survey on 40 people, with roughly 73% of those people being 10 to 19 years old. We asked them the question, do you consider yourself to be addicted to a social network? And we had a response of 68% of those 40 people saying no, I'm not addicted to social networks, and around 15% being yes, they are addicted to social networks, and 80% saying other. But when you look at that, when we asked them how much time they spent on social networks, roughly 25% of those 40 people ended up spending 2 to 4 hours on the social networks combined, and having around 28% saying 0 to 29 minutes, 18% saying 4 or more hours. And here you have to bring up the line, what is considered addiction? We then asked the same people we conducted the survey on how their social life with real people, in other words, outside of social networks, was, and this is what they said. Does the time you spend on social networks have an effect on your mood?
It does, because sometimes, you stay up because you want to be on Twitter or something, and then the next day you're really grouchy because you didn't get any sleep or something,
What do you think the future of social network is, and also the people using them?
Well, the future of social networking, I feel like, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, I think they're eventually just going to all merge into one website. Because, they're all run by, YouTube is run by Google. I think Facebook and Twitter are independent companies, but I feel like it'd be much more convenient if it just converged into one website.
What do you think of the suicide and all that stuff because of the social network bullying and all that stuff? Like, people get more confidence when they're not like directly bullying face to face? Where do you think that's going to head to? Do you think it's going to get like even crazier? Like a bunch of other teens are going to be committing more suicide?
Well, I don't think it'll be crazier than it is already now, but there will be some kids who do commit suicide because of cyberbullying.
Uh-huh.
I think the future of social networking, or in other words, social media, is drastically going to change in a way of having everything about you in these pages where, better say, if you're going to apply for a job, you don't really have to submit a resume because they can just go to your Facebook profile and they know everything about you. And also, major questions will come up, like with privacy issues. You know, is the government spying on us, or blah 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 blah, so on and so on and so on. And then also, you know, it gets into all to this religious stuff as well. You know, with the one world government and all that stuff. It's crazy. But also, the other side, with the fact that as social media does increase, I do think teen suicide rates will go up for sure. You know, again, with that, going back to that, as people feel more confident putting things or saying things online instead of saying it face to face. So, you know, things will get worse, but there will be some regulation in that. Therefore, not that many bad things can happen. But yes, teen suicide rate will increase. Regulations with social media will increase as well. Many laws will come up because, one, of the privacy issues. You know, many people do care about the privacy, as I do. And also the fact that, you know, is it okay for the government to spy on us, and so on and so on. And that's, you know, that's what I think, and that's the future of social media. I know there's much more I can talk about, but, you know, those are the key core things about social media. Social networks are the modern age of so-called friendships. The majority of people consider the social media something good, and they don't consider something bad. Although suicide rates have increased due to the levels of bullying increasing on social networks, the future of social networking is in our hands, and it is important to choose wisely how you wish to control it. Thank you for watching.